My name is Freddie and I am 15 years old. I like to play all kinds of video games, like mostly first-person shooters and strategies. Halo 2, Warcraft, Starcraft, maybe sometimes Diablo 2. If they had more guidance, they would be different, Video games can't do it like all the way. It would probably be like something that happened to your lives. It wouldn't like trigger the whole thing. Maybe it would just like give maybe a little bit of thought,
We pretty much know from research that violent television is not a good influence on children. Games certainly have the potential to be far more negative in their influence because of the characteristics, one of which is the fact that the individual is actively participating in the aggression, which is not the case in television.
In a sense, it's true. Video games are truly manipulative in a sense that they actually allow you to control the flow of narrative. They allow you to be, in control. They allow you to be the protagonist of the story. But if you look at, again, what children do with any media, they want to appropriate that content. They want to make that content, alive. They watch a TV series, they watch wrestling, and they, do their own wrestling on the playground.
You are actually making the character do things, and you are kind of living through the guy in the game. I mean, there's a little component to that, but it doesn't mean they're going to go out and do that for real. I never really made that leap. Sometimes I know this sounds crazy, but sometimes I wonder if that's better, because then they're getting it out there instead of going and doing it for real.
In these games, you can have repeated exposure over a long period of time, not only to the one game, but then there are different versions of the game that come out, so it's over and over and over again.
With games, what really scared me is not really the violence, the violent effects, but the potential for addiction, which is, it's hard to stop. It's up to you. If you're having fun, if you're having a good time, if you're playing with your friends online, for example, when do you stop?
Yeah, that was the biggest problem was the time spent in front of the TV. It gets hypnotic, it's addictive. But we would eventually turn off everything. And my neighbor was with me on this and say, "Okay, everybody, go out and play for a while."
We know that you cannot make the causal link between eating French fries and dying of heart failure at whatever age. The science isn't there, yet we also know a thing or two and can say, yes, we shouldn't ban them, but what we should do is encourage people not to eat them, or to eat them sparingly. We see people giving very young children very violent video games, and you gotta wonder, what were they thinking?
Blood, I remember seeing something where someone got shot or something and blood, and I thought, oh my God, what is this?
Well, first of all, Grand Theft Auto is a game that by default, by definition, is controversial because it's the video game equivalent of a Quentin Tarantino film. The creators deliberately use content that is controversial, like urban violence, crime. You play the role of an evil guy. It's like The Sopranos.
I just really loved just running over people. That was pretty fun. All you do is run over people, shoot people. There's actually not really much of a storyline. That's what I think about it.
I did let them know I didn't care for Grand Theft Auto, shooting cops and stuff like that. I didn't like what really upset me the most was the killing of hookers and things like that.
One of the things that you can do is have a sexual intercourse with a hooker, with a whore, and then kill her and get the money back. It's not clearly shown, but you can understand what's happening. This clearly caused major outrage because, come on, this is a video game. Again, it's intended to be, a kid, form of entertainment, and then you have, this sort of behavior. Come on.
My opinion about Grand Theft Auto is that it's properly rated as M for mature audiences. I was heartened to see that where the Grand Theft Auto San Andreas had that glitch, kind of access to more inappropriate content. I'm glad that the ESRB took steps to then rate it as an adults only type of game.
Even bigger was the hot coffee scandal, which was some hidden content that you could unlock using a special mod created by a player. So in this mod, basically, you could have sexual intercourse with your girlfriend within Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. And when people when this news actually reached the mainstream, everybody was outraged because first of all it seemed to jeopardize and endanger the whole idea of a rating system, because the game was supposed to be targeted to mature audiences, but if you actually have pornographic content, now you have a game that is the equivalent of an NC-17, it's X-rated.